racing to take a 3-1 lead, but it's Indiana with an 89-87 lead. Brian Shaw, who hobbled off earlier this fourth quarter, is back on. He'll inbound. 28-14 seconds remaining in the fourth. 20 on the shot clock. They are on their feet at Market Square Arena. Hardaway once again guarded by McKee. Hardaway for Turner. Hardaway checking the clock. Backs it up to go now against Dale Davis. Here's Brian Shaw for three. Brian Shaw, who hit a three-pointer earlier, comes off the bench to knock it down from downtown. And Orlando now leads 90-89 with 13 and 3/10 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's a two-man game set up with Jeff Turner and Kenny Hardaway. I think the Magic anticipated Mark Jackson guarding Turner. He wasn't. Mark Jackson was guarding Brian Shaw. He stepped in to help. The penetration by Penny, and that set up Brian Shaw for the good look at the basket, who had just cut out before with that sore ankle. And Marv, as you mentioned, he hit a big three-pointer in the left corner in the middle of that Magic run.
So Brian Shaw with 6 of his 7 points here in the fourth. Back after this from your local station. That man, Brian Shaw, signed as a free agent by Orlando after 2.5 years with Miami. Originally a first-round pick of the Celtics back in '88. The three-pointer giving the Magic a 1-point lead. Orlando taking the delay of game to check out the Indiana alignment. 13 and 3/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter, and Derek McKee will throw in.
Pacers have had success going inside to Rick Smith. The last time they did it, the Magic left Tree Rollins alone with him.
Indiana has 1 timeout left. They had some trouble getting it in. Down to 10 seconds. Jackson, Miller taking the shot and hitting a three for Reggie Miller to give Indiana a 2-point lead with 5 and 2/10 seconds to go in the fourth, and the Magic calling for time. Reggie Miller, who has been struggling in the fourth quarter, 1 for 5 prior to this.
Well, looked like a high screen roll with Smith. Mark Jackson forced to go the other way, and fortunately for Indiana, it was towards their best clutch shooter as Reggie Miller and Brian Shaw dueling three-pointers, and a screen there by Dale Davis was the one that freed up Reggie Miller. That looked like the play that Indiana wanted.
5 and 2/10 seconds to go. Indiana by 2. We'll be right back.
Well, there you see the situation, but with Shaquille O'Neal fouled out, Horace Grant fouled out, the Magic have to be thinking three-point shot here. Take their chances, try to get the win now, although they would take a 2 on the follow-up and take their chances in overtime, but I'm not sure.
And 2/10 seconds to go. The Pacers, 92. The Magic, 90.
And it looks like Dennis Scott will be the inbound passer, and that is usually the man that will bust wide open with 5 seconds to go in the fourth quarter.
Scott throwing in from near midcourt. Brian Shaw with a three-pointer to give Orlando the lead. Reggie Miller answering with a 3 to give Indiana the lead. Delay of game taken by Miller. Larry Brown able to check things out. Now telling Miller to drop off Scott. Hardaway down to 3. Here is the three-pointer. Yes! With 1 and 3/10 seconds to go. Anthony Hardaway hits the 3. An amazing finish here at Market Square Arena. Indiana now calls for the time, and Coach Lucas right on target.
Well, everybody on the floor for Orlando capable of knocking a three-point shot down. It was clearly set up. Get the ball into Penny and see what he could create. Good defense, actually, by Haywood Workwith to force Hardaway to his left. And under pressure, Hardaway just put a little extra oomph in getting off the floor to make sure he could get a good look and a follow-through on this shot. He pounds both feet into the floor to get up and over Haywood Workwith. Very close to the three-point line, but just far enough behind for Orlando.
What spectacular clutch shooting by both clubs. How rare it is in this type of scenario to see 3 in a row where it's all on the line.
Well, the whole NBA playoffs, it seems to me, Marv, not every game, but we have seen situations like that in this series. Let's take one more look and watch the right foot of Penny Hardaway, and about 3 inches behind that line. But a tremendous job of shooting that shot to his left. I think normally Penny, he likes to make a move to his left normally for the drive, but I think he would prefer to take that jumper going to his right. And Brian, little body English, getting on that to fall.
26 points for Hardaway, and yes, another memorable Memorial Day contest. Back in '85, the Celtics walloping the Lakers. 91, the Bulls beat the Pistons. We did that game on NBC, and the Pistons, very upset, walked off without shaking hands with the Chicago Bulls. And then in '93, the Chicago victory over the Knicks, featuring the 54 performance by Michael Jordan. Well, this one will be remembered for some time. Still a 1.3 seconds to go. And the Magic up 93-92. They do not have their delay of game, but they take the timeout. So Brian Hill want to check things over as to how Indiana would play. And now both clubs have used all their timeouts. And we will take another break. Back in Indianapolis in a moment. Orlando with the 1-point lead. You see 1 3/10 seconds remaining. Both clubs have used all their timeouts. Indiana hanging back in the huddle. The officials trying to get them to make their move back onto the floor. You hear the whistles blowing. Orlando is ready. Larry Brown taking his time and mapping it out.
Already one delay of game warning. It could be another one. I don't think. Normally you would like to have the ball being challenged on the pass and bounce, but with Reggie Miller, probably the guy that's going to get the catch here. A good idea to take the man guarding the passer and just track Reggie and watch where he goes.
All right, McKee will throw in. It's got to be a catch and shoot. Here it is. Smith with the catch and the shot. Successive clutch shots, concluding with this. Rick Smits with the move on Tree Rollins, able to hit. The Pacers win it 94-93, and this series is tied at 2.
Well, they were looking for Reggie Miller. He was played perfectly. Smits was the second option, and actually Tree Rollins trying to take away that first shot with just 1.3 left. Smits able to get the fake and then the step in and the game winner, as Larry Brown sitting there, calm as you can be, would say, hey, we'll take it.
4 lead changers, the final 13 seconds for the 1-point victory. The Indiana Pacers leading by as many as 12. Orlando able to get back into it. They lost Shaquille O'Neal and Horace Grant on fouls. And then 4 consecutive clutch shots down the stretch. It ends with that man, Rick Smits, winning it at the buzzer. The series tied at 2. The Pacers 94 and the Magic 93 in a classic. Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, and Ahmad Rashad saying so long from Indianapolis. This has been the NBA on NBC.